Hello, my name is Ronaldo.
My name's Michelle.
My name's Bernie.
I'm Daniel. My name is Gael.
And today we're going to be talking about the issues with some issues that the UTRGV reg has. You know, one of those quotes that like a lot of us probably repeat ourselves is, I hate having to wait 40 minutes for a machine or, you know, whatever time interval it is. Recently I went there to the UTRGV reg and I was waiting for the basketball court to open up, the one that's given like one of the 5-on-5s, and I ended up waiting like an hour and 40 minutes, and at that point like I just had to leave because I had like things to do. And there's other courts, but the other courts are being shared. They're either with like the racketing sport or volleyball, and then the other court is the same thing. So we technically only have one. I like to think about it that we only have like one indoor court, and for the amount of students that go, especially during peak hours, you have to wait either a long time or you just have to get there early and like get onto a team quick. If not, you end up waiting a certain amount of time, and that goes for any of the other machines as well. In this presentation, we're going to talk about the problems that we face when we go to the rec, some of the causes to that problem, the possible solutions for that, and we're going to wrap up the conclusion with our references and debrief everything we've spoken about. One of the problems that we have with the UTRGV rec is the size of the facility. The UTRGV student population is 34,000, around 34,000, and you know, not all of those 34,000 students go at one time, but the amount of the students that go during peak hours does vary, and whenever you get there, it feels a little bit cramped in a way, but the more people go there, the tighter it feels, and like we do have an outside part of it, which is like basketball and tennis court alongside the pool, but the time that I've been there, it usually doesn't get used, you know, it's like one or two students that are out there, and other than that, like everyone else stays in.
Here we have a picture. It shows the two basketball courts right here. These are indoor. And then this little area you guys see right here is basically where all the weight room is at. Now, imagine sharing this little area with 34,000 students, or even half of that, which would be like impossible, like fitting 34,000 students right there. Like you mentioned, peak hours are usually from 2 p.m. to like 6 p.m., which is like when all students are finishing their classes or getting out of class, and that's really what UTRGV struggles with. 34,000 students around that time is like nearly impossible to fit. Also, we have this right here. The one that he was mentioning is two basketball courts, but this one is often shared with volleyball students. Like he said, most of the time it's either volleyball over here or like basketball over there. So it's really not two basketball courts. It's just like either or. Like you mentioned, the student enrollment rates, they continue to climb. The amount of equipment is not set to match the rates to growth. The facility also has limited space and exercise equipment, meaning that students do have to wait. Like they have to wait either 30 minutes, 40 minutes, which at that point is just inconvenient. Students will just like rather not work out instead of just wasting their 30 minutes or 40 minutes. With the new programs and more students being admitted, the reg must expand or provide a safe and comfortable area to exercise.
Yeah, adding to what he said, with the lack of space in the facility, we're going to run into another issue that we're going to talk about, which is the lack of equipment that's available there. You know, we take this lack of equipment in a small facility into consideration, and we compare it to other universities here in Texas, and you know, the size difference, we'll be able to see it. You know, other universities kind of have the same amount of students that attend there, and they're also public, so like the funding, you know, is there, like we see that it's there, but here we have lack of equipment because of the size of the facility. You know, personally, I've been there, and I usually go in there, play basketball, and then I go to like the rowing machine or something for cardio, and those machines are usually always taken up, and like the people who take them up, you know, take their time, like, you know, like they should, you know, it's the equipment that they pay for their tuition money, but at the end of the day, like, it still, you know, gets in the way of my schedule and probably of other students' schedules. We're going to transition to some of the causes that are, you know, being contributing to this factor.
So some of the stuff that causes this is student enrollment. I feel like this this year we've had such a high spike in student enrollment, like due to the freshmen and the football team that just got announced. So enrollment of the students that have been a factor to this university has been a rise. This semester, over 31,000 students at UTRGV's enrollment has increased over the past few years. As you can see in this chart, from 2019 to 2024, there's been over 5,000 students that have enrolled to UTRGV. But the rec center it's always stayed the same. The rec center has never really changed. With the size and the capacity. The expansion of the athletic department at the university with programs such as the addition of the football team and a women's swimming team and a diving program have brought up numbers of students and student athletes utilizing the rec center at all times.
How can we solve this? First of all, we can simply build a new facility, which will directly answer the cause. Although it could potentially affect the UTRGV's pay raise, it will help alleviate the peak hours, which also is extended the hours as it can spread the gym usage throughout the day.
Yeah, following up with what you said, with the new facility, the facility, I think it's stayed the same for a long time, and as we're getting more students, different parts of this campus are getting, renovations. We recently got this new quad here, and they're doing like minor infrastructure renovations that, will eventually, in a way adapt to the growing rate of students that we have. But this new facility would allow the students to be able to, continue a healthy lifestyle and allow themselves to, take a break from school when they need to. Because if you live here on campus and you don't want to pay for membership in the gym, you're going to go to the rec. But if it's always busy, then you probably are going to be forced to pay for a gym membership or just find a different alternative to working out. And as to the extended hours, this would benefit the students who, work late jobs or who live here on campus and don't want to go during peak hours. If we have the rec center be 24/7, we allow for everyone to, essentially just create their own schedule without interfering with the other people, with the other students, and allow for everyone to use the equipment.
So for our conclusion, we're just gonna wrap things up with how the rec just isn't big enough for like all the enrollment coming up. Just because with the new sports program, the lack of space, it's like with all the crowdedness and like peak hours, it just like pushes people not to go as much. So it talks about how the crowdedness with enrollment also is one of our reasons, and then also how there isn't enough room or like equipment for everyone to use, and our solutions were expanding the building to create more space, adding more working machines and equipment, and changing the hours just to give the students more time options. And then we also added this quote about how at the end of the day, college is not just knowledge, and it's about the